This is the office of John Stone, where he was murdered last night.
The janitor found him on the floor at 10 p.m. The cause of death was a blow to the front of his head, and the time of death was between 8 and 10 p.m. From the agenda on the desk, we know that he was working late and was to see his secretary at 8 p.m. His brother Steve, who was his business partner, at 8:30 p.m. and his lawyer Sam Swade at 9:15 p.m. We have all three of these people here for you to question. We also have Mr. Stone's wife here, as well as the janitor who found his body.
Your job is to find out who killed John Stone and how and why they did it.
That is, by evidence at the scene and from what you learned from the suspects. You must prove who the murderer is, the motive for the murder, and the method of the murder. Once you know this information, write it on a paper.
At the end, I will read all the conclusions, and only then I will tell you who is right.
John Stone was in his office at 8 o'clock when his secretary, Ms. Wright, came in. On the counsel of his lawyer, John broke off the relationship with her and let her go as his secretary to avoid being blackmailed. She reacted violently, smashing the picture of John's wife. John came around the desk to try and restrain her, but she pushed him away and hit his head on the aquarium stand. He fell unconscious on the floor, but was not dead. The janitor came in just as John hit his head and fell to the floor. He saw it was an accident and told Ms. Wright to go home and he would make it look like a robbery. Before he was able to do this, however, Steve Stone came in. Seeing the mess and his brother on the floor, he went to the file and took out some papers he had falsified so that he could steal the company from his brother. He felt that if they were found, it would make him look guilty of killing John. He was sure that the lawyer had killed his brother and was going to pin it on him. He then went back to his office and waited there as if he had never left. Again, the janitor was unable to finish making the place look like a robbery because the lawyer came in. He also looked for the papers that Steve had taken. When he could not find them, he figured that Steve was the murderer and he was going to use the papers to frame him. So he also left and created an alibi. Soon after this, John's wife received a call telling her that he was having an affair. When she came down, she was out for blood, but it had already been shed. When she saw the mess, she was afraid that it would look like she had indeed killed her husband in a fit of rage. She also left, but what she saw was the main piece of evidence. She said that the fish were alive, wiggling around him at 9:50. Which meant that the aquarium could not have been broken by the secretary at 7 o'clock. However, no one else had mentioned the aquarium being broken except the janitor. Mr. Munn said Ms. Wright pushed John and hit his head on the aquarium, breaking it. When Sam Swade left John's office, the janitor again tried to mess up the room. His intent was not simply to make it look like a robbery, but to really rob John Stone. Since he believed his blackmail scheme was already destroyed, he decided to remove the safe keys from John's body and clean the place out. Since he believed the blackmail scheme was already destroyed, Mr. Munn thought John was dead, he decided to remove the safe keys from John's body, clean the place out, and pin the murder and robbery on Ms. Wright, Steve Stone, or Sam Swade. But as he searched John's pockets for the keys, John began to wake up. Mr. Munn picked John up enough to strike his head again, this time truly killing John Stone. To cover his tracks, he called John's wife and told her John was having an affair. He knew she suspected it and had overheard her threatening John in the office. He did not anticipate that it would be her testimony that put him away.